In today's video, we are going to create this Telegram bot, and with a single message, this Telegram bot will be able to read and send emails. It will be able to access your Google Sheets to extract information. Particularly in this video, we are only extracting contacts, and then it will also be able to read and create events in your Google Calendar. So let me show you how it works. So first off, we will execute workflow to activate it or to let it listen to every message we are going to send. And so you will just have to send this message. Kindly reach out to Kennedy via email from my contacts and let him know that our meeting on our financial briefing has been rescheduled. Reschedule the meeting to Wednesday 10 a.m. on my calendar and notify him as well. All right, workflow successfully executed. So let's check our Telegram. We have a feedback that I have successfully sent an email to Kennedy informing him about this, the time. Additionally, the event has been created on your calendar. So let's check all those ones out and see. Let's check it out from our calendar. We can see that financial briefing 10 a.m. It has been rescheduled here, and our email, this is the message that was received. Hello, I hope this message finds you well. I want to inform you that unexpected health reasons, I am not feeling well and will need to reschedule our financial briefing. I apologize for every inconvenience. Best regards, Sidunyaku. And this is how the bot works, the Telegram bot. So it does all that by you just sending a single message to Telegram, and it does all these ones. So let me show you how you can build this bot step by step from the very beginning till the end. We'll start off by creating a new workflow, and we just have to click on add the first step. And just as I showed in my previous videos, you have to start off with a trigger, and the trigger is what activates the workflow. So in this instance, we're going to use Telegram. For the Telegram to be able to function, we will need an access token from Telegram. And to do that, I will go here to Open Docs. And you just have to scroll down here. You are going to click on Bots Father. So you have to go to Bots Father, and we are going to chat with Bots Father, right? All right. So once you open Bot Father, I've already created lots of bots, so that's why this is showing. Yours might be empty. So you just have to click on Start New Bots. So slash new bot to create a new bot. And all right, a new bot. How are you doing? How are you going to call it? So let's choose a name, and let me call this new class. Good. Okay. So now we are choosing the username for the bot. That is what's going to appear. Tutorial bots. Sorry, username is taken. All right, so we go for thoughts bots, something like that. It's just a random. It's also taken. Okay. My name bots. Sorry. Wow. Oh wow, my name. Okay. My name bots. Wow. At this point, I just have to come up with random names to just. All right. So now we have everything. So we just have to copy the access token. We now get back to anything and paste that access token here, and then we save it. So now this is configured and everything is supposed to be working perfectly. Right, so to continue from that, we will have to now add an if function, and we can see from the target bot that we are creating that it has two branches right after the Telegram trigger, and the Branches is purposely to target which one is a voice note and which one is a message, because the bot is built to take in both voice message and then also a text message. And to do that, to differentiate between them, we will have to add an if function, an if node. So we add the if node. So we have two values where once we are able to insert the value, which in this case, the message that is coming, it should be able to differentiate that this is a voice note or this is a text message, right? But before we can get some values to fill in, we will have to send a message to Telegram again so that the information will be captured and we'll use that to continue, right? So now we will have to go back to our Telegram. Hello, how are you doing? Oh, I forgot to actually execute the workflow, but I will still see whether it will work. It will be able to listen. All right. So it came through, and let's see. Once we double click the Telegram node, we'll be able to see that this is what Telegram received from the message that was sent. And now let's go on to the if node. And then from the if node, it is also collected here. And now what we want to put into that value section is the message that was sent. So in this case, it is voice, right? So let's send the voice inside. And once we upload that, so we know that the voice is something more like an object. The anything recognizes it falls under an object variable, right? It is not a string. We can see here that the icon there is the same as the icon here, right? So if an object exists, or let me say if a voice note exists, then it is true, right? So it is at this point that it is differentiated. If an object exists, if a voice note exists, then it is true. It should assign it to true. If a voice note do not exist, then it should assign it to false. So whichever way, the if node is going to receive something. But then, is it a bot? Is it a voice note? No. Is it a voice note? Yes. That is where the differentiation comes in. Yes. So right from here, it means that if it's true, then it means it is a voice note. If it's false, then it means it is a text message. As simple like that. So right now we just want to use the voice note. We want to continue from the voice notes, and what we have to do now is to add a Telegram node. And the purpose of the Telegram node is that right now we have the message. It, unlike the text message, it comes through straight away. But then for the Telegram, for the voice notes, we will have to now download it again from Telegram so that it comes to anything. Even though on Telegram it's there, but then we have to extract it and push it to Telegram, to push it to anything. And to be able to do that, we will now have to add a Telegram node. Unlike the previous one that we used, which was a trigger, right now we're going to use get a file. Get a file. So we are getting a file because Telegram, the voice note is categorized as a file. And we have a file ID that we have to put in here. And we can see file ID here, right? And we also have the chat ID. But then in this case, since we are specifically dealing, this particular node is specifically targeting voice notes and not just any message that comes in, we can go on ahead to use this file ID. So we just copy them and put it here. You copy the file ID and put it there, right? And everything is done, right? Okay, and what now we have to do is that yes, we've received the voice notes right now, we are able to download the file, but what we have to do now is to transcribe the words that we've said, is to transcribe the message that was said in the voice note that was sent. And to be able to do that, we will need OpenAI to do that transcription for us. We all know OpenAI does voice to text and then text to voice. So let's add OpenAI. There are lots of transcription tools that you can use, but then I would just like to use OpenAI. And once we click on that, we have a lot of options. So we have create an assistant, a lot of them. So let's go through and see which one is to transcribe. So transcribe a recording is here. So we click on that to transcribe a recording. And to do that, you have to also create an OpenAI API. You have to add an OpenAI API. You have to create a credential. And in my previous video, which I'll put the link up there, it teaches you how to create an OpenAI API or to create the credential. And the resources audio, we are transcribing, and input data field, that is data. So let's just leave it like that. And right, I think everything is fine now. So let's run this from OpenAI and see how it's going to work. If it doesn't, we will have to send a new voice note and see. All right, so from the previous section, which is the Telegram node, this particular Telegram node, it is executed, and as I taught in my previous videos, everything you see from this side, everything you see from the left is the input, so something that is coming out of the previous node, and everything here is what comes out of the current node. So from the previous node, from the Telegram, we were able to download the file, which is the voice notes, and this is the node, this is the action, and this is the output. So it was able to transcribe the message and know that I said, hello, how are you doing? So now, instead of an object, we have a test. And I believe you are all getting to love the points where we are going. All right. So we have our message transcribed, and it is now back to test, which means that now the message, if we send a test message, even though it may pass through the side, but we all have the same we are going to have the same variable as this one, or let me say we are going to have the same output as this one. So in that sense, we will be able to join these two works together, these two nodes together, because now we are dealing with both tests, right? Tests on each side. And what we will do from then is like we will have to now add a node that is able to see that even though we are joining them, but then it should be able to know that a message is coming from this side, so it is retrieving it, or a message is coming from this side, so it is retrieving it. So just as from this side, the if function is the one dispersing it, but this time we need someone that is a node that is rather merging it and should be able to pass on the message to the next node, right? And what I will recommend is to use a function node. A function node is basically like a code, and the purpose of the code is to know that there is something coming in from each side. If there is a node, if there is a message coming in from this, take it. If there is a message coming in from this, take it. So it's not like it is only expecting a message from just the OpenAI node, and in that case we will have to join the force also to this one. Joining it means that now messages can just pass through from here to here. It can also pass through from here to here. So what are we telling the node? What are we telling the code function to do? Since right now we have two nodes connected to it. With that, what you can do is to just paste in this code. I will add it to the files in the description, and just paste that code, and it should be able to differentiate between each of the nodes and pick the right information from each of them. Right, so with that done, now we have to move on to the next step. So the next step is where the real work is. Right now we have the message being sent. So the message is either a voice note or a text message. We've sent the message. What is the action plan? What do we want to do with the message, or what is actually the message saying that we want an action to be taken, right? So we will now have to add the main system, or let me just the AI agents. So I'll just add an AI agent. You click on the AI, you can just search AI agents right away, then get that right, and then we get an AI agent. And the purpose of the AI agent is to distribute the works, so it will be the one distributing the work. And like I showed in my previous video, For AI agents, you will have to add a brain to the AI agent so that it functions. So let's say the AI agent specifically is more like the person, right? And it has a brain and it has the tools. So the tools is what is the actions, right? What you can, so you have your hand that does this, you have the leg that walk and all that, but then it is all coordinated by the brain. That is how, that is the simple explanation that I can give for AI agents and then the chat model and then the tools, right? So chat model, let's add OpenAI chat model. So the OpenAI is the brain that we are going to add to this one. So I have my credentials and everything chosen. Let me choose a different model. Let's use 3.5 table. Right. So now this is added, and the next thing to do is to add a memory. The memory helps the AI to get to know that this is the action that went on previously. It will remember so that it doesn't just forget everything that you see, right? Because some of the conversation or some of the action that needs to be taken, something needs to, like, it needs to be remembered so that it will know what you are asking it to do. So the memory node is supposed to help the AI to remember every conversation that went on before. So let's say some lines of conversation that went on so that it will not keep forgetting. And to do that, to activate it or to configure it, I have to change this from connected chat trigger node. The connected chat trigger node basically means the chat trigger that is inbuilt in anything. But in this instance, we are not using that as our trigger. We are using Telegram as our trigger. So we have to go on, we have to choose define below. And once we choose that, we will need a key, which basically is what message should I remember, or what message, what input is coming that I should remember. So it focuses on that particular thing alone and then remembers every time that particular variable is sent to it. And in this instance, we will need the message to be remembered. So the message that we're going to send, that is what we need the AI to remember each of the time. And to do that, we can see here that we are not having any previous information coming in from the previous nodes. So what we have to now do is to go back to Telegram and send a message again. And once we do that, it should be able to send the necessary information that we want to receive. So before we do that, let's not forget to execute workflow so that the AI listens. So let's go to Telegram and send in our message. All right, hello, how are you doing? And now the message is listening. And now we can see from in here that the code didn't just, the message had to use this route, the false route, which means it was not a voice note, so there was no need to go and use this route. And then it had to come straight from the false node, from the false route into the code, and then the code also pass it on, right? And now we are having some issues here. Let's check it out. What we can see here is that the AI agent is still assuming or is still thinking that it is receiving message from the chat trigger node. That is the inbuilt anything chat trigger node. But in this instance, we are using a Telegram as a trigger. So just as we did earlier, we have to also change this to define below and then tell it what message is coming that you are going to focus on. So we have a message from Telegram in here and we have to send it to the AI agents for it to know that this is the message that I want to focus on. And then luckily for us, now we've been able to convert all the messages and they are all coming through a single node, which is the code. So the code takes in both from the voice recording and then from the normal text message. So the output from the code is now our final work, our final input or our final message that we want. So let's rather copy from the code. So we copy that variable and paste it in here. And a prompt user or the prompt message or the user message, the user prompt is what the AI is going to work with. What is being input. So in the previous videos, I explained a user prompt as the prompt that when on a normal day you are testing ChatGPT, you will just send to ChatGPT that this is what I want. And in this instance, this is the user prompt. What should the AI receive and process that information for you, right? And that is the what we are now sending, because our instruction is that hello, how are you doing? We are just asking it, and that is what the AI requires to know from us. What do we think? What do we want? And then the system message is what, if you're not having it, you have to click on add option, and then a system message will come, then you choose it. So a system message, how to add a system message is also the guiding prompt that is guiding the AI, the instructions that has been given to the AI to, because it is vast, it can think wide, but then when you give the system prompts, that is going to be the boundaries within which the AI is going to work for you. And let's open it up. So we switch it to expression so that we can do what we want, and we will have to paste in these prompts that I drafted. I will add it also in the description so that you can download and paste it. So you are a helpful assistant. The date and time is now. So this helps it to know the actual dates and the actual time, just as we can see from the results that it is showing. It is the same thing here, but then it's giving you the output, how it's going to look like. So the date, 26th January, with the time and everything added. And then we also add time zone, UTC offset. So your task is to extract the following, the title. So we are just letting it know what it has to do. So basically this whole prompt is telling the AI how to write the email, where to extract the contacts from, which is from the Google Sheet, how to also create an event in the Google Calendar. So it is just letting you know that this is within these boundaries is where you are working, or is what you are supposed to do, right? So now let's get back. We've now added our system prompt. So let's get back and add the necessary things. So we've added memory. Let's go to memory and see if it's configured. All right, so the message to we switch the session ID also to define below, and then the key, like I said earlier, should also be the message. What should the AI remember? So in this instance, we just want it to remember the message, or no, we don't want it to remember the message. When a particular chat is sent, so once we send a message that hi, how are you doing, so anything concerning the hi, how are you doing that is sent should be remembered. And in that instance, I think that will have to be the ID, the message ID. So the message that is sent, every message comes with its ID, and that is the ID we want it to play around. So we want it to play around the message that is sent. Should it be remembered? What's around the message should be remembered. Yes. So I think the message ID is very necessary, or we can use this ID, but let's put the message ID inside, right? And I think we are good to go. What we are now left to do is to add the tools. So like I explained earlier, the AI agent is more like the body, the person, right? And the chat model is the brain that is attached. The other tools are the actionable tools, so the hands, the legs that perform specific functions. And let's add the tools. So from what we saw earlier, from the video that I showed you earlier, what do we want to do? We wanted to send emails, we wanted to update our calendar, and then we also wanted to extract information from Google Sheets. So those are the tools that we want to add. What do we want? Send an email. So and we add an email to Gmail to, and what do we want the email to do? To send a message. So the resource, we have a lot of options here, and we have a lot of options here. What do we want to do? So the message, do you want to get a message? In that case, it means that once a message is sent, you receive an email, anything has access to that email that you've received. Or do you want to delete an email? Do you want to get many emails, so like it has access to all your emails that is in your inbox, mark as read, mark as unread, remove, label, all that. So all these are functionalities that you can give the particular tool, but it goes one at a time. So if you want to add all of these functionalities, it means that you have to be adding the Gmail tools countless times as many as you want these functionalities to work, right? So in this instance, we only want to send an email. So we choose send. And what we have to do in this instance, we want to send the email to a particular person, but then the message will be ranging every time. We are not going to be sending email to one particular person every single time, right? So we don't want to put a to here. If you put a to here, let's say if you put a Gmail and an email address there, it means that every time the message is sent to the AI, it is going to send that email to the person that are going to put there. So in this instance, we want the AI to make that decision and know who we want to send the email to, since the instruction is going to be given and it's going to extract those from the Google Sheets. So we will now let the AI make that decision, and this icon is what gives the AI the go ahead to do everything from your decision. But then before we can do that, we have to check this to set manually, and then once that is done, we will leave it for the AI to make that decision. The subject, we don't want to do that. We want the AI to make that decision. The email type, we make it test, and the message too, we want the AI to make that decision. We don't want to be sending a message all the time. Once we input a message, it means that that is the strict message that is going to be sent every single time, right? That is not what we want. Yes, and once you add your Gmail tool, you have to do your configuration, and I think I skipped that. I will attach the video that you can watch to learn how to add your email credentials, how to add a Google Mail credential to activate this. All right. Now we've added that. What's the next thing? We want Now we want the AI to extract contacts from Google Sheets. So let's search for Google Sheets. We want to receive documents from Google Sheets. So the operation is to get rules. The get rules specifically means that get access to the rules, right? And so if for my case, I am working with just a sheet in a particular document, right? So a sheet within a document, and what document do I want, since your Google Sheet may have a lot of documents, right? And I have my contacts sheet there, my contacts documents. So I choose that, and then I choose the sheets. It is just a single sheet, so I'll just choose it, sheet 1. All right, and that is done. Everything is okay now. You just have to go back, and then the last thing we will want to add is to add a Google Calendar that is able to book our events, book our meeting for us. All right, Google Calendar too. Right, you definitely have to also add a credential here. It is all the same. Once you are able to add it, it means you just have to be copying the client's secrets and the client's ID. Not so much difficult to do. I'll add the video up there for you to watch it. So the resource is events. The operation is to create an event, create a meeting. And the calendar, you just have to add that particular account that you want to use for, and that is this account. And the stats is now, that's the default, but then that is not what we want. If we leave the stats to be now, it means that every time the AI is going to schedule the meeting, it's going to be at the very exact time that we sent the message. That is not what we want. We want the AI to make the decision. When do you want the meeting to be? That is based on what I have told the AI, right? And the end, that is also the AI's decision. And we leave it like that, right? Now we go back. Yes, another very important thing that you want to do with the AI, the Gmail node, is to turn this thing off. Let's go to options and append anything attribution. This one you will want to turn it off, because if you don't, once the email is sent, it will be written down there that this is done in anything. We don't want to be doing that. So we just turn it off. All right. And that is everything. So if you want to add more features, even from the Gmail, if you want the AI to have access to read your emails, if you want to do that, then you have to add another Gmail too, and then for the operations, you make it get mail so that it reads it. If you wanted to delete email, you add another Gmail too again, and then you give the access as delete. So that is how this works. But then we are cool with everything that we are having at the moment. We just want to send emails, we want to create events, and then we want to extract information from Google Sheets. Right, and that is okay. So let's see and run and execute this particular node and see if we are all correct. All right, so we have everything correct here and it has been able to run. So let's go to the next thing. I would like us to add a Telegram node so that we receive the message back on Telegram. You sent a message to Telegram, you want a feedback that, okay, this is what happens, right? All right. So let's add a Telegram node. But then this time around, it is not a Telegram trigger and it is not get a file. But then this time, we want to get a chat. We want to get a message. You know, in this particular node, it was get a file. You wanted to receive the voice node. And then in this node, it was a trigger node. So it is send a message, but then there's a trigger. So it just counts as Telegram trigger. But then this time around, we want to get a chat, right? So we click on get a chat. And with the same configuration that we did, with the same credentials that we created, it will be there, it will be here automatically. And the chat ID is what we want to send to the Telegram packaging. And since our message that we sent in the Telegram is that, hello, how are you doing? This is the output. I'm here and ready to assist you. How can I help you today? Right? So we will put in that message here. That is what we want to output. That is the message we want to output. Right. Okay. So now I think I want to show you my Google Sheets so you know how it also is. All right, let me go to my Google Sheet. This is how my Google Sheet looks like. It's just a simple something that I use for the test. So Kennedy, my name, Kennedy, let me see the contacts that I'm having. So Kennedy, the contacts, and then their email. So should I be having a lot of them here? You just have to mention the name in the chat section in Telegram, and then it will come here and then extract the email address from it. All right. Now I think everything is done. You have to now go back and send a message on Telegram and see if our bot is well created. All right, so let's go to Telegram. Let's not forget to execute our workflow. So we just have to send this message. Kindly send an email to Kennedy that I'm not feeling so well, so our meeting has to reschedule the meeting to Wednesday 10 a.m. and let him know as well. So we've sent the message. Let's go to anything and see how it works. Right. So I think everything worked here. The only challenge that we had was with the Telegram node. So we will check out and see if all these tasks were done. And then we'll check out why we were not able to receive the message back on Telegram. All right. So let's check out our calendar and see. Okay. So now our meeting is created, but then there's no title, so we can work on that and make sure the title comes up. It has 10 11 10 to 11. All right, and let's check our email and see. All right, so our email is also here. Dear Kennedy, I hope this email finds you well. I wanted to inform you that I'm not feeling well, hence we will need to reschedule our financial briefing meeting. Sure. The new meeting schedule is as follows: dates Wednesday, time 10 a.m. I apologize for any inconvenience. Best regards, Esiedu Nyako. And this is well crafted, just like a human will write it, right? So let's now go back to anything and check what the issue was with the message that we were supposed to receive. You can see here that the output is I have successfully rescheduled. So this is what we were supposed to receive on Telegram. I successfully rescheduled the financial briefing meeting with Kennedy. Here is the details, title, whatever. So let's check it out. But the problem here is the resource has to be message. So we are send a message, yes, and then the chat ID. So we will the chat ID will not have to be the message output. So the test, right? The test will now have to be the message output. That is the message that is going to be sent. So let's copy that rather here and put it there. And then for the chat ID, you can just clear this and let's put the chat from the trigger, the name, the same ID. Yeah, let's use this ID. Let's copy this ID and paste it here. All right, so let's execute this step again and see how it works. Just like that, now we are able to receive our message from Telegram. And we can see here, I have successfully rescheduled the financial briefing meeting with Kennedy. Here are the details. It sends the message back to us. This message was sent automatically with anything. This is what I was talking about, that we had to get rid of it from the email node. So now let's also get rid of that from the Telegram node so that we don't get to receive these messages that it is drafted in anything. So add field, append anything attribution. We just have to turn it off, right? And that is everything that we need to do. And just like that, your bot is fully active. You can do a lot of things if you want to. There are lots of options here. If you want to add any other node again, you just have to click on that and you can add the node. This is everything that you need to know about this chatbot. So I'll see you in the next video. So you can have a link to my WhatsApp community that we learn everything AI. We learn even things outside anything, not just in anything. We will stay updated in the AI space and get to learn more. I have a link to my WhatsApp channel as well, where you can also join and then get updated on all AI news. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.